Hello guys, this is Avcoor, and we actually have a new update. I'm excited about some of the stuff that I'm seeing. Like, this excites me a lot because I know who this is. And this character is really interesting, but then when you look, then when we, then when we're gonna look at his overall class and stuff, you're gonna see that he's even more interesting. And it's gonna go into something that I would like to talk about in another video. But we're getting some new content, and I'm super excited about that. You don't know how happy I am to get some new content in this game. I'm just like over the moon, bro. Seriously. Like it says in Archeland's new version, End of Movement, is scheduled to visit strangers on the 30th, which is 4 days. Yes, in 4 days. In this update, along with the appearance of mysterious new heroes, Isabella of Kingsland tells her legendary story and the new fixed content Purgatory Stars is ready. So we're actually going to get story content and we're actually going to get some new fixed content, which is good. So let's look at the weapon information of the new heroes first. So of course we know this is the Ennis, and yeah, I'm excited about the Ennis because if you play this game, you know that he's like revived from the dead or whatever. His story's pretty tragic. They'll show a little bit of that, but yeah, he's pretty good. And I'm really excited that the devs actually revealed their hand a little bit in his creation and the changes that they made. So of course, this is kind of out of the way. When I looked at this weapon, I didn't know who this was, but it makes sense that this character would come along with Dennis, so it makes sense. So I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. So in the new version, you can meet the story of Kingsland Isabella through the legendary event as a character who appears as Richard's aunt, the royal family of Kingsland. What secrets of the royal family will be uncovered together? You can look forward to it, stranger. So yeah, I'm really excited about that because we actually get some new free stuff. And I wish the devs would understand that in order to make this game work, they're gonna have to give us more rewards. And if they don't want to make so much new content, they've got to create like rehashable content that will generate resources for us to get. Because resources right now in this game is really limited. And I hope the devs realize that. And with these new iterations, they can fix that. So yeah. In addition, the new fixed content Purgatory of Stars is scheduled to come to the Stranger. In Purgatory of Stars, you can obtain rewards such as hero fragments by defeating the bosses of 5 attributes. I'm always excited about this because when you create content, you have to give it a level of difficulty that will allow the player to struggle against it so they'll keep playing. And the elemental system that they implement is a very easy way to do that. So I'm actually satisfied that they actually did this. So we'll have videos posted on that. Hearing the news about the last movement, it seems like my heart already thumping at the thought of taking an adventure. So it'll be Wednesday. And this is what helps me a little bit, gives me a little bit of confidence. Like the guy says, is it the end? And the guy says, Our Stranger, the final move is simply the name of the version. Archeland still has a lot of stories we want to show to strangers, so please look forward to our future videos. So they're gonna put more content. That's always good. And the character is Philothea. I didn't know that this was the character, and to me, it really makes sense, but this weapon doesn't make sense, but the character makes sense if you get what I'm saying. If you play this game, the character makes sense, but this weapon, it doesn't make sense to me. So I'm curious to what element she'll be. So yeah, and we're gonna go check that right now. So first, let's look at the Ennis. Sorry, I gotta translate all the time. The Black Rose, because the Ennis is actually a very strong character. If you played like Knights of a Den as much as I have been playing it, you probably haven't had a chance to pick up this character. So you kind of know what he's supposed to do, but now you don't know what he's supposed to do because he's super different than what we have experienced. And I like the fact that they made him different because it does understand things that I understand from playing this game so long. So let's look at his tragic story. Unlike the corrupt nobles, Daenerys was a good warrior. He led the knights by charging directly into the enemy's camp, easily defeating any opponent in a duel. Not interested in politics, he always kept silent in the palace. But at meetings with knights, he could not control his excitement and was seen humming songs. So you know something screwed up's going to happen. Daenerys stopped the invasion of Kingsland several times and was reborn as a hero to the people of Iblis. However, in the words of the Iblis hero, it was misfortune itself. Suspected by everyone for his treason, Daenerys eventually had to prove his innocence by drawing his sword and committing suicide. So, yeah, these are two things that are totally different. Starts off good, ends up bad. Rumor has it that roses bloom in front of his tomb in all four seasons, and sad chants resonate throughout the day. So, yeah. Beloved King of Knights, you will sleep among the black roses. It will slowly be forgotten in everyone's respect. Wow, that's really dark. But this guy is like really, really interesting. Notice that they changed his element to green. This is one of the most significant changes that I noticed right off the bat, and there's a reason for this. In order to make the Ennis good, he could not be dark, because dark is the weakest element in the game. And I'll talk about that in another video really soon, but dark is the weakest element in the game. In order to maximize this guy's full potential, he had to be either light or one of the core elements. And since he couldn't be um, light because we already had Lancelot, they had to make him either green, red, or blue. But we already had like Electo and Sickhart, excuse me, in red, and we already have Jen and Charlotte in blue. So the logical direction would be to make him green. Since we since the only green SSR warrior that we have is Capet, and and Capet is so weak right now that it just makes sense in order to make the NS green. They wanted a dominant warrior, and they wanted the NS to be really strong. So this is the only way they could go, and it's really interesting that I could actually perceive this being a possibility because it shows you that my play knowledge has rapidly increased because dark is one of the weakest elements in the game, and if they wanted the Ennis to be strong, they had to they had to give him one of these colors. So if a person attacks the Ennis and kills him, he still keeps fighting, man. Busted. they tried to kill him again, and he kept fighting. That is busted. And she's red. Look how much damage he's doing, and he crit. That's insane. So if he kills a unit, he could do AOE damage. That's insane. So if you kill him in a conflict, he could do AOE damage. So we're looking at another busted unit. Warriors are already good. The fact that he's a warrior makes him, by class alone, makes him mid tier. Um, Mid tier for warriors are so good that even warriors like Peacock, who really aren't potent because of their element, are better than other characters. Like I, when I test ran Peacock, unless you invest heavily in Catherine, their damage output is the same if you would believe it or not. Like Catherine actually does more than Peacock, but when you compare their damage output, you'd be surprised how much damage Peacock does. So being a warrior is already like putting you ahead of the pack. Being a good warrior makes you top tier. Lancelot Electo example. So we're looking at another beast. And this is something weird. His his exclusive weapon, Stone Thorn, like it gives you physical attack, but it gives you crit resistance. I don't think that's crit resistance. I think that's crit because he crit a lot. And the green element's known for crit, but then they say increases damage dealt and crit resistance by 9. So I'm not sure how that works. I'm not sure how his kit works because we don't have the full loadout of his kit. But I would have preferred this if it is crit resistance. I would have preferred this to be crit, and more importantly, I would have preferred this to be HP attack and HP because that's the best stats you can get on a weapon. But if they're trying something different, I'm all for that. You have to like, as a game designer, you have to like break the mold a little bit, or the game gets stale. So yeah, I'm okay with that. So this is what it does: cooldown reset for in the name of a night after an enemy with concentration or death fight dies, increases damage dealt by 9%. This is always good. Increasing your damage dealt is always critical for a warrior. So this is important in critical resistance by 9% when there is a target with confrontation or death fight within 2 blocks of oneself. So we don't know how good this weapon is because we don't know how good the character is. It's the character first, then the weapon second, and that's the formula for synergy of a great character. So if he himself is extraordinary, his unique passive is extraordinary, then this weapon and its effects will sit on top of that. Yeah, people are like a lightning attribute. Yeah, resurrection warrior. He is a resurrection warrior. All right, yeah. So they're just talking about the character. So let's move on. I think the end is going to be busted, but we'll see. We don't know yet. So we're not gonna assume, but we pretty much can assume he's gonna be busted. So this is the healer. So you've already seen this character, and she does wear green, but her element was dark. So we'll see if they did that, if they kept her dark. But it doesn't look like she'll be dark. It looks like she'll be green. But if she's green, that'll be very conflicting because Hazel was green, and she's pretty recent. The new hero we are going to introduce today is new SSR hero Philotia, the Bestower of Holy Grace. Karam Church's Philothea has a pure heart by nature. As the church selected ceremony, Philothea, who was holding a torch lit by a holy rag, made the choice to abandon her torch and save a competitor. The moment her competitor slipped and was endangered, everyone expressed regret at Philothea's disqualification, and her competitor was also impressed by Philothea's good deeds. Eventually, she passed her torch of her own to Philothea, and the moment Philotea passed the torch, her torch poured out her dazzling light. It was the moment when Philotea's merciful heart and devout faith in the church were recognized by God. However, her life as a saintess was quite different from what Philotea expected. As a saint, Philotea wanted to become a link between the humans and gods, but a difficult day in she had a difficult day in complex rituals that were repeated every day. Then one day, the king of knights of the Black Rose appeared in front of her eyes. I don't know. That made no sense to me. It's like with the Ennis, there was like conflict. There was a beginning and there was an end. Oh, so she is going to be dark attribute. Let's see how good she is. Wait a minute. How much move was that? Let's look at that again. That's a lot of move. All right, that's one, two, three. What the hell? That's like 5 squares, isn't it? Oh wow! Oh wow! So to me, it looks like they're utterly replacing Alicia because Alicia's trick was the fact that she could block like certain debuffs, like unhealable debuffs, and that's what makes her good. But I don't understand half of what I just saw there. Like, I don't understand it. I don't understand half of what I saw. Like, I don't understand how she got all this move. And she took all their status effects onto herself. So that's like, wow, she's like a debuff cleanser. We're kind of really missing that in this meta. And she's able to throw the debuffs back on them. That's insane. Excuse me. And she's got stud in her kit. That has to be her like ultimate. This healing spell has probably have to be her ultimate. So from this looks alone, she seems to be superior to Alicia. And because she has a dark element, her stats should be like she should get the stat bump, which to me it's like when I look at dark characters, I don't think they get a big enough stat bump to justify their weakness in their element because like at least Alicia had like great stats and I think with dark characters, the best role for dark characters are actually healers and probably healers, spellcasters, probably archer, tank not so much. I just think that Arena was built really well because she has like pure damage reduction in her kit and she has ways to do damage. But if Arena wasn't built as well as she was, being a dark element, she wouldn't be as good. Same with Kabir. It's like them as characters, their kits and their skills exceeded their element. I I also think that even Warrior is a bit weak for Dark. You hit neutral damage for three, like, there's 5 elements, and you'll hit neutral damage for 4, but you're ineffective against 1, and you're not strong versus any. I just don't think that the stats offset that. But if they make her stats high, I would really understand it. If she had like cracked stats, I kind of would accept that. I really would. I hate to say that, but I would accept that because Dark is really weak. A new Dark attribute, SSR hero Pelotia, will be meeting you soon. As a priest, Pelotia Pelotia not only has high healing abilities, but can transfer ally debuffs to herself and duplicate her own debuffs to enemies. That's going to be a really really interesting mechanic. I think that will work. Yeah, I think that's going to work. I think that's very 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 interesting. I think yeah, this is looking really good. They did a real good job with Merlin and Delilah. So the devs are getting better about making characters. So this bodes well. This stat line bodes well too. Magic attack and HP, that is really good. After using a skill that does not inflict damage, grants the target Shield of Darkness status. At the beginning of the turn, if there's an enemy within 2 blocks, removes 1 debuff from allies within 1 block and recovers HP. Oh, that's busted. This part is really busted. Oh, that's really busted. Whew, that's really good. you got to get her you got to get her unique weapon, man. She starts to cut because you're always trying to get passive healing on healers. So this is really good. Shield of Darkness reduces elemental damage received by 20%. After receiving damage, there's a 40% chance to apply one random debuff to the attacker. Oh, that's oh wow, that's oh she's cooking. Oh, that's a serious. This is serious. Yeah, first place. You're darn right. Yeah, the skill conditions are getting harder and harder. Yeah, yeah, yeah. This character's busted. Wow, she's looking. Her mechanic's looking like great potential right here. This is probably gonna be like the new meta healer. How many meta healers do we have, man? How many meta healers are we gonna get? Like every 3 months we get a meta healer. Avia of the Waves, Hazel, Valek, Kafair, and Alicia at the beginning of this game. Whatever. This is weird. This is a healer meta. Yeah, we always get a busted healer. Holy crap. But anyways, guys, if you like my content, hit the like, share, subscribe button. I'm coming out with more content. I'm so glad this game is moving forward. But anyways, have a great day and goodbye.